Greetings and welcome back. My name is Wrath and this is Kerbal Space Program. Now, in a previous video I had set down to make a conflicted space game that some of you may have seen, and that video came out right before I found out about the pending release of Kerbal Space Program 1.0, the official release. I have not received a lot of replies back yet on that particular project, so in the meantime I'm going to go ahead and get an entry startup look at Kerbal Space Program 1.0. Now I know a bunch of people are already doing this. Hi Val. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do a quick look through of getting started and getting your feet under you in the start of Kerbal Space Program 1.0. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to, let's give this a good name, like, alright, so we're going to do getting started, and we will go ahead and, what's a good one? I just like that one. Let's just go with that one. Alright, so I'm going to leave this on normal and just go from there. Okay, so with all the standard default settings. Now, what we're going to be looking at is understanding what you need to do and what all of the information that's being presented to you means. Now, obviously, you have science, reputation, and funds. And funds and science are really well understood. You get the funds to launch your rockets. You get science from your missions, and you progress through the science tree and upgrade your buildings and such till you're able to get further and further into space. Now there's a couple of things that people don't realize. The first thing is I've seen a lot of people playing and they don't really pay attention to this little building right here. And this is the building that people should pay a little bit of attention to, because this changes how everything works. It allows you to convert some of either your reputation or your science or money into the other currencies. The reputation currency actually dictates what you get here. So it's important to remember. Now this first mission is going to be a very, very lackluster one. We're going to real quick just put a ship there, and we will throw on a goo canister, and that's it. And just for crew experience, we're going to kick him out and we're going to put our scientist in, Bob Kerman. Okay. So, real quick launch. And, you know, you can save your early designs, but I generally find it to be less than useful. So, this is going to be really quick. We're going to take a crew report. Keep that data. We're going to EVA. Take an EVA report. Actually, we're not going to do that one. We're going to step off the vehicle. And now do an EVA report, because we want from the launch pad. And then we're going to board back on. We're going to run our goo experiment. Okay, and that's going to be it for the first launch, and the importance of that is to get you just a starting boost of science and to complete a couple of quick missions right off the bat. So 16 science, got all of our money back, and then Bob got experience. All good. So as you can see, we got a little extra boost of an additional 10 science there. And that's important just for getting us through the first couple of sciences to unlock some additional parts. And do we have enough for that? No. Okay. So the other thing is that gets us a tiny little smidgen of reputation. And we're going to leave a spot open here because we don't want to actually escape the atmosphere just yet, because we've got all of these to work with. So now let's go ahead and build something real quick to get us a quick rundown of materials. Alright, so we've got basic flights, but we're just gonna start with a really basic launch here. Okay, and that's gonna be it. Actually, no, you know what? Let's go ahead and try to maximize what we're getting per launch. So we're gonna stick that on, because what we want to have happen is we want to give this the opportunity to go as far and as fast as possible, as cheaply as possible. So load this up. And we should have Jebediah in there. Nope, we still have Bob, so oh, that's gonna go very badly. So let's go back inside and put Jeb in the flight seat, because we need a pilot, not a scientist. That's why we put Bob in there for the first one, because that was purely a science run. Okay, so SAS on and launch. Oh crap. Okay, so we're at the flight. Obviously, I screwed up on my staging. Okay. Now we'll launch that. It's always a few mistakes every now and then, because I'm in such a hurry that I forget to do all of the important stuff. Alright, so 3, 2, 1, launch. And now Jeb will set a speed record. That's 2 for us. We got the launch, we got another speed record, 3 speed records, altitude record, 4 speed records, altitude record, altitude record, and are we going to get all the way up? Yes, we will. We will get all the way up, and we will take a crew report right now. And we haven't unlocked in-flight EVA, so we're going to have to live with that. So now I'm going to try and point us. Point us down that way, so that when we come back down, we're going to get some ballistic speeds. Let's see how high we actually got. So we're going to hit 41, which is really good. That will set us up in cash pretty well here, because as you can see, there's 25, 18, 9, 6, and we're also getting a lot of reputation. And that's going to be important, because one of the first things I do is convert reputation into science early on. But we may skip that, and there's the little bit of science that we got for that, so we're going to go ahead and wash all these away. And now we're going to try and get enough here that we get a little bit of aerodynamics to send us back towards KSP, because otherwise we're going to land in the water, I think. Yep, we're starting to come down really fast. That speed's picking up. just going to try and steer this like a ballistic missile. So I'm going to speed this up here. As you can see us coming back down. Alright, we're not able to resist it, so we're going to go ahead and throw out the chute. But it did bring us back far enough, so that's a good thing. We're actually steering this thing. Good lord. Alright, we're too thick in the atmosphere now. Okay, so now we're just coming down. I'm gonna speed this back up, and always, because the old KSP had that issue where sometimes your parachutes would snap off, and that's never fun. So again, you always want to try and maximize what you're getting for what you're investing. So we're going to down to 1, and I'm twisting the craft right now to try and get it to fall over. There we go. Besides our hatch on the bottom, of course. So we're going to use a little bit to roll it over, and yep, we're going to climb off the end here. Take our EVA report. We're going to jump and climb back on and get back in. Okay, and recover the craft. So as you can see, that mission got us a fair bit just from a one launch. Okay, so that got us 19 science. And we got about 1,000 back, so we lost for the fuel. Jeb got his experience, and we got 58 reputation so far. That's an important milestone right there, because that allows us to take what we're getting here. Let's see here. Okay, so that's as high as we can go right now. There we go. And we have just enough. So what it's going to do is it's going to take 25%, 1 out of 4, of the reputation that we gain, and turn it into science. That's going to help us a lot. The next thing we're going to work on is turning reputation into income. And that's going to help us get a really quick start. Let's see here. Almost have enough to do that. But one of the things I always recommend to people early on is getting your spaceplane parts or your airplane parts and mastering aircraft first so that you can progress a little bit more easily. So now that we've got that done, see, because I spent my reputation, we now have lost missions. So that's the missions apply here. Okay, so we can do this. Let's go build our next rocket. And again, we're doing most of these with solid fuel just because it's expedient. It maximizes your altitude and such, so you can get really. Actually, let's go back and make sure that we've got that escape the atmosphere one, because we're going to do that next. Okay. And do we have enough to do that? Yeah, we're gonna make it so we can perform EVAs, because that's going to be an extra set of science that we can do. Okay. Yeah, we got the separators. Okay. Turn the angle snap on. Those are off center. There we go. Okay. Now these are going to be lost no matter what we do, but we're going to try to save them because we might be able to recover the parts later. I think there's actually a mod that's specifically for that. Let's go ahead and throw on science goo cans. This is something I like to do, which is really simple. Stick them about halfway in, just so they are more in line with the top of the ship. Okay, so we've got those. Got our parachutes. Let's go ahead and make sure we've got our staging. So separate that, and that fires. Okay, so this will be a real quick suborbital flight, and we're going to try and hit a couple more of these options, and we're going to switch out pilots. So Jebediah, you've had yours. Now it's time for Valentina to have hers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and launch. And the other thing is the distinctions of your crew are important, because scientists are the only ones that can collect the science out of your experiments and reset the experiment. Engineers are the ones who do all of the I forget what it is. It's all like the engineering data of flight data, and then your pilots are the ones that can actually actively do SAS. So each of them has their role and their use. So we're going to go ahead and kick this off, and we're actually going to angle it to the north because we want to try and get some distance as well, because there's a distance mission. So here we go. Angling just a little bit. And the amount of force that this is generating, I should get like re-entry effects here just by, okay. So we're going to wait till these hit their optimum height. See what my apoapsis is like. Okay, so we're going to be hitting at 22, so keep ourselves angled up, and when we get to 20 we're going to separate. That way we can retain some speed, but we're still going to be pushing this hard into very, very high orbit. Okay, ready, set, and so now this should push us really, really dang high. Keep it going, Val. Okay, so we've set our speed record, and we've shot up all the way to 130, but it's coming down a little bit. Yep, see, it's coming down as we're going up through the atmosphere. So we probably won't get all the way up to 130. But let's go ahead and see where we're at with this here. That's the upper atmosphere, we don't need that. Let's go ahead and fire off one goo canister. Okay. And now we're gonna wait. Okay, we are 70 kilometers. Okay, so we'll take our crew report as well. And now we will take our mystery goo experiment in space. Okay, so that gets us pretty well sorted for this flight. So now we can sit back and watch what did our eventual apoapsis actually go to. Okay, 133. That's pretty dang high. So let's see if we get any more records. Yep, 28 kilometers. Oh, we're getting distance because we're going to come down a great distance away from Kerbal, the KSP, KSC, Kerbal Space Center. Okay, we're actually probably going to get re-entry effects here. Oh, yep, we're going into re-entry here. Now, there's a mod that I would very much recommend for people, which is the Kerbal Alarm Clock system. Or not Kerbal Alarm Clock, it's Science Alert, I think is what it's called. Which basically just... Oh, heavy G's, heavy G's. Okay. We just did that to kill off our re-entry effects so that Val didn't die on this mission or us lose any of the science. And again, we're fast forwarding to the landing. Anyway, this is going to end the first part of my quick sort of getting started guide in terms of getting a good solid start on your Kerbal Space Program career mode. And we're just going to land this into our EVA and then we will be done. And then I will start with the second part of this. So stick around and we will come back to that. They opened it early. Oh yeah, because we're at higher ground altitude. Okay, and coming down. And there we go. Just roll it over. Alright. Well, EVA. Okay. EVA report. Take that. And grab on, get in, and recover. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Please like or subscribe if you're enjoying my videos. And until then, I'll catch you on the flip side.